Hi, and welcome to the All Things Yarn podcast. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for watching the previous ones. My name is Victoria, and I am a Norwegian knitwear designer and crazy knitter. In this podcast, you're gonna see a lot of yarny stuff. Today, it's mostly knitting, but on an everyday base, it could be pretty much anything that has to do with yarn. It could be crocheting. It could be other needle crafts. It could be some beads eventually, because I also do Icelandic pearl embroidery. So that could come up here in the podcast, but today it's mostly knitting. It's been a while since I last filmed. The last time I filmed was February. No, today is February 11th or something. The last time I filmed was August 12th. So it's been a while. I filmed the first day of medical school in the fall, and then I don't know what happened. Time flew, there was always something going on, and then suddenly it was dark 24/7 because I live in northern Norway. So yeah, I just decided today is gonna be the day that I'm gonna film. There is good lighting, I'm home alone, I have tons and tons of knitting to show you. The amount of knitting that I've been doing since I started medical school has been insane. I thought I wasn't gonna be able to knit that much after I started medical school, but it's been more than ever. And part of the reason being is I can't focus in class if my hands are not doing anything. So if my hands are not doing anything, I'm just sitting like this the entire time. So I'm always knitting during lectures, and I feel like that way I personally am learning so much more because I can actually pay attention for that 2 hours period worth of quite complicated stuff sometimes. So yeah, I'm sorry if I sound really bad. I have COVID and I'm not feeling the best. I can hear when I'm talking, my voice is not that good. I might have to stop also and try to find my voice again at a later point, but it was good lighting. I'm home. I'm feeling quite good right now except for my voice, so I was like, why not do it? So yeah, what I'm gonna show you today will be knitting from I think December 16th until today. Most of this is knit in January and also the start of February this year, but I also did some knitting in the end of December. I was gonna film a podcast in December, but it's dark 24/7. We just started getting our lights back, so I have now 2 hours or something where there's light enough so that I can actually film. So I'm just gonna start with the thing that I'm most excited about, and this is a finished object. Now this might have actually been finished or knit on before December 16th, but I'm gonna show it because I'm really happy about it. Pattern was released December 21st, so it's probably knit in the beginning of December. It's the bubble sweater. I showed another version of this in August when I filmed, but I did some changes. The one I showed in August was bottom up, but this one is top down, makes it a lot easier for placing the bubbles the right way, and also writing out the pattern that way. And I also just love top down because then you're you don't have the few awkward rounds after joining the sleeves if you're doing it bottom up. So this is the bubble sweater. This is knit with merino, 100% merino from Drops. So it's Drops Merino Extra Fine. I think this is a size 3 to 6 months. I'm not sure. I don't remember what I knit, but I just love it. It's so tiny and so cute. Now I'm just waiting for someone in my class at medical school to get a child so I can give this to them and watch them wear it. So yeah, This pattern is published. You can find it on my Ravelry and on Etsy and on strikkemekka if you're from Norway. It comes in sizes from 3 months to 14 years. So go grab this if you want. There is also, oh, I forgot this. We have a knit along going on. I think the prices are only for sending in Norway because I'm just part host of this knit along. We are 30 girls from the Nordic Knitwear Designers Instagram that are hosting this knit along. And so any of my designs, you can knit for that knit along and enter to win prizes if you're from Norway. If you're not from Norway, I'm seriously thinking about doing a knit along, either like all my designs knit along or a bubble knit along, like knit or crochet, anything with bubbles. So it wouldn't have to be one of my patterns, but I have a lot of bubble patterns, so I'm thinking about that. So that's the first finished object. I just oh, that's my dog. Hey, you want to say hi? Ah. She doesn't like me talking to the phone. She'd be like, you should be talking to me instead. So that was the first finished object. Then I have, it's kind of the same object, but it's not the same, obviously. Another bubble sweater. This is the Aran version of the bubble sweater. This one is also knit with merino, but this is knit with big merino, and so it's knit on 5 and a 5.5 millimeter needles. I don't remember what size this is. I think it's 3 to 4 years old. This pattern is also live. I've been really good at like keeping up with releasing the pattern, so that's quite good. This pattern is also live. The pattern has a video tutorial now on how to place the bubbles on the sleeve, because this is also knit from the top down. So the first, she's just standing there looking at me like, what you doing? The first few rounds on the sleeve can be just a little bit confusing if you haven't done it before, but with the video this will be super easy. And the bubbles are so fun because it's like just a few rounds, then you have a new bubble. So this one really flies by. And if you wanted, you could even do the bubbles on the entire sweater instead of just on the sleeves. But I personally just like that it's like that little pop of something. So that's why I have only done the bubbles on the sleeve. If you wanted to do that one, but you wanted to do the bubbles on the body and on the sleeves, just follow the instructions for how to place the bubbles on the sleeves, and also do that on the front and back, and then you'll have how to do it. So I'm just gonna show these really quickly because it's just gonna be me repeating myself. Another bubble sweater. I don't have kids, but I'm knitting so much kid stuff lately. I don't know, someone has to get a kid soon so I can start gifting these. This is also the Aran version of the sweater, knit with big merino, 5.5 millimeter needles. I think this is a size 5 to 6 years old or something. So that is that. Then, while we are at it with sweaters, I'm gonna do the finished objects first, but there's a lot of like repetitive stuff. This is the winter version of the sweater, no, of the t-shirt that I knit last summer and showed in the podcast. And I remember saying in the podcast like, well, I'm pretty much done with this. I knit it up in 2 samples, but you know, pattern probably not coming until another year because I know me. I knit this in 2 days in the end of December, and I'm really hoping, it's like 2 months since I finished this, but I'm really hoping that I can just write up the pattern for this before winter ends. So like people can actually knit this year. But if they can't, I have a pattern to release next winter. The really nice thing about this is you can use up your scraps. For this particular sweater, I used, I think, 1.5 skein of drops air for the main color. It could have been just one. I think it's 1.5. And then like 20 grams of drops air for both of the contrast colors. And this is a size 1 to 2 years, I think. So yeah, this is just a prototype, and I see there is a little bit that has to change because when I was knitting this, I didn't take into consideration that the slip stitch that you see, that I would actually pull the fabric in. I didn't take that into consideration, so the sleeves are a little bit narrow, but I will fix that before release. So that is a sweater. This one doesn't have a name yet, so if you have a name suggestion, just put it below. If I choose your name, you will get a prize of like 3 of my patterns of your choice out of my published patterns. So if you post your name and I choose your name, you will get 3 patterns from me. So I have, as a knitter, I have a lot of scraps. So that is what I've been working on, like scrappy things. So here is a cowl. I have makeup on and I don't want to ruin my hair, but yeah. As you can see, it's just a really simple cowl. This one is a little bit tight, but I will fix that before release. I also forgot on this one about it actually being like 1/6, or every 6 stitch is like it doesn't exist because of the slip stitch. This is also knit in drops air, and it's lovely. It's so soft. I will probably use it even though it's tight. And if not, well, I have it for photos and I can just take up a place in my yarn room. So this was just really to use up these scraps of drops air because I'm still making the twist headbands and selling. So I have a lot of drops air scraps. And 2022 is gonna be the year. I'm not gonna like eliminate my stash, but I'm gonna downsize it severely. And knitting up scraps is a part of that. So this is the cowl. Whee, my hair. And then I also made the twist headband of that design. This is coming out pretty soon, I think. If you want to be a test knitter on any of these designs or any future designs, just follow me on Instagram because I will call for test knitters quite often on Instagram. So just message me on Instagram if you want to test any of my things. My name is Vim, V-I-M, then _designs at Instagram. So that's that. Where is... Oh, look. Hey. Are you cute? You söt? Är du söt? Yeah. She just really likes cuddles and she likes being with me. She doesn't like being alone. So she can be sitting here as like a little addition to the video. Yeah, so that was that. And then this is kind of a finished object, but it's not really finished. It's like super close to being finished. This is something I knit on last summer. And when I knit on it, I was like super close to being done. It took me from the point that I was last summer to the point where I'm at now. It probably took me like 3 or 4 hours. And then from where I am right now until finished, that is probably just like half an hour. So I should really finish this. This is a cardigan or a jacket that is called the Trine jacket. This is knit in Viking alpaca breeze, and it's a super soft yarn. Yeah, and it's really lovely. 7mm needles. It flew by, this one. It's knit in double moss stitch, but you can't really see it because it's so dark. But it's really simple and elegant, and yeah, I'm really loving it. So I have knit the entire body, and I have knit, and I have knit both of the sleeves. I have woven in all of the ends. The only thing that's like left is sewing these into the jacket. So I should actually have as my goal to just do that today or this weekend, because it's a Friday today and I have COVID. So they turned down the isolation period in Norway to just 4 days. So I was actually out of isolation yesterday, but I'm not feeling like non-symptomatic. And even though they're like, as long as you don't have a fever, you're good to go. I haven't had a fever really. I had just like a little fever the first or second day. But I'm not feeling good. So I don't want to go outside and then like potentially infect someone. Even though everyone is going to get COVID now, but like I don't want to be the one who gives it to someone who has a reduced immune system and can't handle it. So I'm just going to do my part. I'm going to stay in until I feel good. So I'm going to try and finish this jacket while watching the Olympics this weekend. And then I've been so good with my knitting lately, actually. This one I cast on oh, I have a hair in my eye. What? Oh, I can't even see it, but it's, yeah. I'm not gonna edit this podcast because I just want it to be real. And me saying weird stuff, not finding the words, going like this with my annoying hair all the time, that is real. So I just want this to be a real podcast, not where I film it like 20 times to make it perfect or stop and edit out the weird parts where I do and say weird shit. So yeah. So this one I cast on December 25th. I finished it January 4th, I think. And while I was knitting this, I didn't knit anything else. I just knitted this. So this is an Icelandic sweater. I have no idea what this is called in English, but an Iceslander. In what you can see is my favorite color. Yeah. This is for myself. I just really wanted to work on my floats. I have a lot of new designs planned, but I just really need to work on my floating, like on the inside. So I thought an Icelander where you're constantly knitting with 2 colors the entire sweater, that is a perfect project to practice that. So this is size extra large. I used Droppslima 4.5mm needles, that is a DK yarn. I used, I think, 10.5 skeins So 525 grams of the main color and 3 or 4 skeins of the contrast. I'm thinking it was like 3, but who knows. I follow the pattern. This is a pattern by Drops called Reykjavik. I did not like the pattern. The pattern was written in such a way that like even up, I was like this far. This is it from top down. I wasn't this far and I was like, I don't want to do this. I just want to not make this. But I had the yarn and I'm like, well, 10 skeins or 11 skeins of the main color is not enough for an adult sized sweater, size large or extra large. So I have to make something with several colors. So it was just a really non-user-friendly pattern in the way that it was written, especially for the start of the sweater. And then I was just knitting the sweater without really like, I was like, I'll do what the pattern says. And the pattern said to decrease, I'm not sure, every 4th round, every 6th round. And to knit the sleeves for 25 centimeters or something. That's like this far. But then I tried on and I'm like, I'm missing a lot to make it even like kind of fit me. So the sleeves do look a little bit funky. I should have noticed that 25 centimeters is not going to be enough for a sleeve before I did this. But I didn't, and I was not going to pull it out because this is color work all over. So I just made it like this. It looks really weird when it's not on. When it's on, it kind of works. So I just wanted this to be like a sweater that I can put on when going to the grocery store, or maybe even when we go skiing or fishing or whatever. So I don't care if it's not perfect. It's not going to be like a pretty wear sweater. So I was not going to pull it out. And it was really just to practice my color work for new designs that I have planned. So that's what that is. And then I should probably say this. I'm gonna do a separate video on this, but for 2022, I probably already said it in this video, but for 2022, I'm gonna be stash busting like a crazy person. I really love having a stash, but at this point I have 700 something skeins of yarn, and a lot of that yarn is not yarn that I love anymore, or a lot of that yarn is just like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't love my stash the way it is right now. 250 skeins of that yarn is, I don't have a skein here with me, is a yarn that was discontinued that was called Big Static. It's a Norwegian yarn. That yarn was discontinued and I love that yarn, so I got I actually got 300 and something skeins, but I've used like 50 of them. So I had 250 or 60 skeins left of that. That is not yarn that I want to take out of my stash. That is yarn that I want to keep and love and use going forward. But I have 700 and something skeins. That's a lot of yarn. So for 2022, I'm going to be knitting out of my stash. I really love just like simple projects, not really thinking about it, just like climbing on me. So that's what I'm gonna do with the yarn I have in my stash. I'm just like not gonna think about it. I'm just gonna pull it out and knit with it. So here is the Aurora Cowl. Can't see it. You can kind of see it. The texture, and the Aurora Headband. and 3 more Aurora headbands because I had yarn to use up. So this pattern has been test knitted. This is knit on 8 and 9mm needles with Drops Wish. It's so soft. And it smells, I don't know, it smells fresh. I don't know how to explain it. So this pattern it has been test knit. It's not released. It was supposed to be released last weekend, but I got COVID and I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not feeling good. I'm just gonna deal with it another day. So I will try, if I'm feeling good after filming this podcast, I will go and release it probably today. So this will probably be live when this podcast is live. So the Aurora headband and the Aurora Cowl. These are super, super, super soft. Oh my god. It's so soft. This is a slightly looser cowl. I don't want to take it off. I might sit with this on me for the rest of the podcast. It's so soft. So yeah, and it's super, super quick. I think one of these headbands took me 40 minutes to knit. And the cowl, I don't know, probably 2 hours. Something like that. It was really quick. So that was that. Drops Wish. And then these were knit with Drops Eskimo. This is 100% wool. The Wish is wool. I want to say wool alpaca, maybe some nylon in the cord blend. But this is 100% non-superwash wool. This is Drops Snow or this is Drops Eskimo, but it's changed name, so it's now Drops Snow. So this was 3 50-gram skeins knit up. And yeah, I'm just that's what I did with this. I just went into my stash, pulled out a skein, cast it on, knit something with it. So yeah, if I don't sell these, because I do go to markets and I do sell online, but if I don't sell this, I'm sure there are people who will want them for free who couldn't afford an hand knit wool headband otherwise. So yeah, that's that. And then I got this yarn for knitting. Hi mom, if you see this is for you. I knit this shawl for my mom. I got the yarn a couple of years ago, not knowing what to do with it, and then last summer I test knit a shawl for someone, and it used 3 skeins of this yarn that I have. This is 50-gram ball, so it's 150 grams. This is Drops Alpaca. It's a fingering weight yarn. I don't remember the name of the shawl. I'm sorry. I will try and link it below if I remember. If I don't remember and you want to know, just let me know and I'll let you know what the name is. But yeah, I had 3 skeins of this. I was like, that's perfect. My mom has an orange one of these and she uses it all the time. So when I saw this, when I saw the yarn, I was like, okay, that's perfect. I'll use up every last bit of those 3 skeins and I'll have a Mother's Day gift for my mom. And Mother's Day in Norway is this Sunday, so I need to weave in the ends. Now, I'm obviously not going to go there this weekend because I have corona, but she will get it when we go back home in a couple of weeks. So that's this shawl. Then this is not fun. This is not anything fun to show, but I'm just going to show it. Dishcloths with their ends not woven in. So I have all of these. they look like they're the same color, but all of these are scrappy. Like this red one, that's 3 scraps of red, and then I didn't have enough to finish, so there's a scrap of blue. This one, 2 scraps, not the same yarn, but both cotton and kind of the same thickness. 2 scraps of blue, not the same, but they look the same, so it worked. They don't look scrappy because the yarn is so, I don't know. Then I had 2 skeins, 50 gram skeins of cotton, so I got 3 matching dishcloths. I had 1 skein of this color, so that turned into 1 dishcloth plus like a half, and then I finished off with another scrap. So this is just like, you know, that I explained, like just pulling out of my stash yarn and knitting with it. And that includes knitting with my scraps. Not thinking about it, because that is the kind of knitting that I like, just knitting, taking something out of my stash and knitting something simple with it. So that's that. I'm almost, okay, those are not really finished objects because the ends aren't woven in, but I'm almost done with my finished objects, and then I have my works in progress. I was gonna show, I'm sorry, my voice is dying. I was gonna show the yarn that I got in January, also in this podcast, but this is gonna be a long podcast. It's already half an hour, and yeah. So I think what I'll do is, what was I gonna say? I'm gonna try, now the light is back, and I know I have some days where I have like the morning off. So I'm thinking if I film today, and then I will try and film again in a week or 2, because as you can see, I'm knitting a lot lately. So then I can show the yarn. But I'm going to show finished objects, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about like this challenge I'm doing for the scrap. For this Stash Listing 2022. This is names. This is the My Favorite Cowl, and this is the My Favorite Headband. I'm going to show you the headband because I think the structure shows best in this one. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. This headband is knit with Drops Eskimo, also just pulled out of my stash. This pattern is live, 8mm needles. It's super simple. It looks not that simple, but it's really simple. 100% wool. This yarn kind of looks a little bit like a sheep. That's kind of, I'm not sure, that's like fun, I think. So that's that. And then I decided in December that headband, it's finally time for the headband to have a matching cowl. Do you want to go legge deg, Teppe? But she's like, oh, I want to cross. There's so much yarn here. I finally decided, words. What are words? I finally decided in December that the headband needed to have a matching cowl. So this is the matching cowl. I think I knit this on 9mm needles. It is going out for testing within a couple of days. I might bump it up to 10mm needles because this fabric is quite dense because of the structure. Yeah, I can kind of see it. So yeah, this is just knit with drop swish. This also, I'm really loving drop swish lately and how quick it works up. So there will probably be a lot of designs coming with drop swish from me. Coming soon. If you want to test that, jump over to my Instagram really fast because there is a post calling for testers on that already. And then I show this first. This is another coming out for testing really, really soon. If you want to test, Instagram is the place to be. Just a really simple braided twist headband. One skein project. It's really cute. This is not a size adult, otherwise I would have tried it on and shown you. But it's a really simple braid, so perfect if you want to learn how to knit a braid. And this is knit with not Wish, but Drops Air, which is the exact same yarn as Wish, just a thinner version. So this is on like 6mm needles. Yeah. And then I showed you in the last episode that was filmed last summer, I showed you the bubble socks. The socks that I showed you was gifted to my grandma for Christmas, but I have knit another pair. I should have my sock blockers right now, but I don't know where they are. So I finished another pair. This is this is COVID brain. I can't find the words. This is Sandnes Garn Perfect, which is a DK weight sock yarn. Yeah. Pattern is the tester. Almost all the testers have been chosen for this pattern. I'm still looking for a couple of testers, maybe, who can also provide photos of the finished object, like good photos. I'm not a photographer, so I have, in my group of testers, I have testers who are like really good at giving feedback, and then I have testers who are like really good at taking photos. But I don't have, for this one, I don't think there's any of those really good at taking photos of my testers who are like sock knitters. So I don't think there's any of those testing this. So if you want to test this, you can. One thing I noticed after we moved up here is that it's just so cold up here. I turned the heating on from like September 10th. That's like still summer in some parts of the world. But I turned the heating on September 12th. And by October, I had all of our ovens on max and I was still freezing. So wool socks and thick wool socks are a must. So these are knit for me. That is a size EU 40-41-ish. I don't know what size it is. EU 40-41. So that's that. And that is actually all of the finished items. Now, there's another pile on this side with almost finished items. No, some of them are actually finished, just need to even the ends. So I'm just going to show this really fast because this is going to get shown finished in the next podcast. Probably not the next. In the future, because I have two of this. I have this one and then I have another one of the same thing in a different color. This I knit in like the middle of December. I knit this in like 4 days or something. Except, yeah, so pretty. This is the zipper sweater from Petite Knit. This is my size, so it's an extra large. Knit with my favorite yarn, the yarn that I have 300 skeins of, Big Stark. So I knit this in December sometime, but what happened was I was knitting, I was like here, this is on the body, this is on the body, I was like here, then I was like, no, I need needles, I'm gonna start something else. So I took out the needles and I never got back to it. So I pulled this out a couple of days ago just because my brain isn't working to try and design I have a project that I started last week for designing, but my brain is not working enough to do those kinds of things right now. So I just needed something simple. So I cast this on, or I put it back on needles, knit the bottom, knit one sleeve, almost 2 sleeves. So this is really close to being done. I have another one of these that I knit in November in burgundy. That is so close to them. I'm just missing the zipper on that one. So I have a friend who's going to show me how to do the zippers, because I hate doing new stuff and not knowing how to do it. So she's going to show me. So I have 2 of these that will be done very, very soon. And it's really cold up here, so it's just really nice having these really warm, cozy sweaters. And this is one of my favorite colors, besides this one. So yeah, that is that. Whoop. And then there isn't that much left, actually. And then on theme with the knitting actually garments. I'm not usually a garment knitter. I'm more for like small, really simple projects. Knitter, like dishcloths, mittens, hats. But I have decided that I love wearing knit garments. But yeah, they take time. But I have decided that for 2022, I'm gonna knit more for myself. When I'm making the signs, I'm gonna knit them in my size and not like a size small or extra small like I did for the bubble sweater adult. Sorry. Yeah, so this is a design that is coming, I want to say very soon, probably not. This is the Aurora Sweater. It's not showing. You can kind of see it. So this is the Aurora Sweater. My hair is getting in the way. It's really pretty. I just want to put it on like right now. Oh, it's so good. And it's super, super, super soft. This is knit on 3.5mm needles from bottom up with raglan. And this one is for myself. So on this one I did quite a bit of waist shaping because my hips are, I'm doing the math, 13 inches wider than my waist. So I did quite a bit of waist shaping on this one. The pattern will be without waist shaping, but it will have instructions on how you can add it if you want. But the general pattern will be without. I just had to do some waist shaping on mine because otherwise it would be this big up here and this side around my waist. You don't want that. So this used exactly 11 skeins of the yarn Sterk by the Store Alpaca, which is the baby brother of the yarn that this one was knit in. 11 skeins of DK weight yarn. That is 1,500-ish meters. Because this yarn is 137 meters per 50 grams. That's like 1,500 meters-ish. So yeah. Really pretty. I'm not sure what happened here, but I was really liking like them dangling. The stitch markers. I usually use like a piece of yarn, but I was like, no, I'm gonna do it with these dangles. So that's what happened. I need to pull this back out because of the structure on the sleeves are like slightly shorter than the body. So the sleeves are pulling the neck like to the sides. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this out down to like here-ish, and then I'm gonna do some decreases for the neck so that it doesn't like choke you. And the pattern will also have like those decreases, those neck decreases, or whatever you call the front. I'm not sure. Yeah, they will have those decreases. So this is just a really simple, really cute pattern. My voice is disappearing again. I can feel it. It's not good. I'm drinking Pepsi Max to make me feel better out of a summery cup. So I can like imagine that it's summer. But it's not, it's winter. In northern Norway, so it's cold and dark. Except for right now. Then on theme with a knit out of your stash, and also on the theme of knitting for myself, I cast on another sweater. This is, oh my god, my voice. This is just a really simple bottom-up raglan sweater. I'm not using a pattern for this, I'm just knitting. I'm gonna use a pattern probably for the neck, just because I kind of want this to be a little bit like I want the neck to go down. So I might do follow another pattern just for that. But otherwise, it's just, the color is not showing off good on camera, but it's a really pretty color. Yeah. So this yarn is Sandnes merino ull. You can see it. So this yarn I got last summer at a clearance sale, and this is a really expensive yarn in my opinion, because this is just a regular merino yarn, but it's 70 Norwegian kroners for 150 gram ball. So that is like $7.50 or $8 for 50 grams. That is a little bit above what I want for just a standard yarn. It's not even like alpaca or a really pretty marled, or it's just a normal yarn. So that's more than I'm willing to pay normally. So, but it was on going out of business sale. So I got just enough skeins to make myself an adult sweater, but I was saving it for the perfect sweater. But the perfect sweater might never come along. And I just want to knit with this yarn. It's good yarn. It's good quality yarn. So I just wanted to knit with it and wear a sweater with it. So this is what I came up with. What? Is that a dial-up difference? Oops. I'm not sure if you can see it, but in the camera it looks like there is a difference. Dial-ups from there to there. I checked all the skeins, they should be the same. It could just be the lighting though. I really hope it's just the lighting. So this is knit on 4mm needles. Extra large, again with the dangles on the sleeves. So I've started to see, because I want to know how long does an adult sweater with DK weight yarn take me to make for me in extra large. It takes me 6.5 days. So this was knit in 5.5 days, and I have this much left. So I should just finish this. But I really like sweaters up to this point, when it's just knitting and knitting and knitting. Now it's I have to decrease for the neck. Then I have to think. I just like the really simple knitting. So that is that. Then with the stash busting, You know, the like knitting up scraps. I told you in the last episode that I had knit an ask mat for people in need. And I did. I forgot to bring it, but that is done. But 2 days ago, I knit this one. Or 3 days ago. This is just another ask mat. It's gonna get felted. But it was just like using up my scraps. So that's that. This is all of my scraps of fritidsgarn, Sandnes fritidsgarn, and Raumavams, which are Aran weight, 100% wool. They're gonna get felted, and this can help keep someone warm. Not this winter, next winter. But people are still gonna be cold and need warm stuff next winter. So this used up 200 grams of scraps. That feels so good. Then out of the scraps that I have enough, if I have 50 grams or more of the same color, it doesn't have to be the same dye lot, it could be a different dye lot, but just of the same color, then I will see if they are close enough that I can actually make a pair of mittens. So I did. These are missing the thumb. I'm going to put in the thumb. I'm going to say I'm going to do it this weekend, but that's not going to happen. So these are the bubble felted mittens, also coming soon. I knit up the first prototype of this 4 months ago. I never wrote up the pattern, but here they are. Yeah, you can kind of see the bubbles. So these are just scraps of this light purple color of the, what is this yarn? Raumavams. So that's just scraps of that yarn being put together to mittens. Then I have some more scraps that turn into the felted Aurora mittens. You can't see it. Oh. Yeah, you can kind of see it. So I think these are gonna be for myself when they're felted. They're really big right now. Here's my fingers. There's like this much extra on the sides. So these, they have a thumb. They just need to be in the ends on the thumbs. That's 4 strands of yarn that has to be woven in. I should be able to do that. So yeah, that is that pattern coming sometime. Also made up the prototype for this months ago. Didn't write up the pattern. That's the story of, that's the name of the game, really. Then last summer I had a plan to make the bubble and the Aurora mohair mittens. And the mohair I had the mohair I had from scraps after my no frills sweater and my mom's no frills sweater by Petite Knit. So I just got the second strand of yarn for these. So these are the Aurora mohair mittens. They're super soft. They have the pattern on the front and the back and on the thumbs. I want to write up this pattern and publish it like today. That's gonna happen, but I'm gonna try and get a lot of these patterns written up soon, because I have so many ideas, like the amount of patterns that has to be written up. If I just write like one pattern, like write it out every 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, I'm never gonna catch up. Because right now I have 16 patterns where I have done the math either in my head or on paper. I know what I want. I have knit up the prototype or several prototypes. That includes 4 garments for adult, 5 garments for children, 1, 2, 3, 3 pairs of mittens, some socks, and some headbands and cowls. So I just need to like sit down and get it done. Because the thinking was done when I knit the first pair of this. Now there's just like small adjustments for the bigger size, the 2 bigger sizes than this, and the 1 smaller size. So that's not gonna take that long to finish. So yeah, if you want to test, let me know. I wanted to make this really quick. I'm gonna knit these are slightly too small for me. So this is probably gonna be a size small. My hands are a small/medium. I could probably use these mittens. They're the right width for me, but they're not long enough because in mittens I have like a small width of my hand, but I have the medium length of my fingers. So I'm gonna make myself a pair of these. I'm not sure what color yet, but maybe burgundy. I have enough to make another pair of the same color. Maybe I'll just do that. And then I will write up the pattern for these. Then I had, right before I got COVID, on Saturday, I had some people over here and we were knitting. And one of the girls, I helped her at uni finding a pattern for what she wanted to knit. So when I finished the project that I was working on the knit night, I was like, I need a new thing. I need something super, super simple. So I looked at her project and I was like, that is actually really pretty. Maybe that's what I'll do. So I went into my 700 skeins of yarn. I was like, do I go with this yarn? Do I go with this yarn? What am I knitting? They're like, oh, go with that one, and you're knitting what she's knitting. And I was like, okay. So I cast this on and finished this on. I cast this on Saturday evening, finished this on Sunday. This is just a neck. Is that what it's called? This is folding in on itself, unfortunately, because it's not blocked, but it's just supposed to be like a neck warmer that goes like down. Yeah. So I'm not sure who I'm going to give this to, because this isn't on my size, but I wanted to knit it, and I used 150 grams of this yarn out of my stash. That's good. That's really good. Yeah. I love it. It's so soft. If this fit me good, I would have taken it myself, but it's a little bit small. There was like one size in the pattern. I was like, I'm just going to knit it as it says. I know it's not going to fit me. I'm just going to knit it as it says, the pattern. So that is that. And then, no, I'm so close to being done. There's just like 2 more things. And I know I personally really like a long podcast. I know not all do, but I do. When I'm watching like Nitty Natty, her podcasts are like an hour. That is great, but I wish they were longer. Then watching The Crazy Sock Lady, I think her podcast at one time was longer, but now they're like 30-ish minutes. So I wish they were longer. And then you have The Grocery Girls. Their podcasts are like 2-3 hours. Then we're starting. That's an okay length. They could be longer, but yeah. So that's that. I'm about to lose light, so I'm gonna try and be really quick. I finished one of the bubble socks. You can kind of see it. This is just like me knitting up a new pair of the socks while writing up the pattern. So the pattern is like half written up. This is sock number 1. I just put it on some small circular needles, just because I didn't want to do the you know what I mean. I didn't want to do the like seaming the front, like the toe, before I knew that it was the right size for me. And I might do a tutorial on how to close it, but I probably should do that in another color than this dark one. And here is sock number 2 in the middle of a round. Yeah, so probably finish this probably today or tomorrow. So that's that. Yeah, it feels like I'm dying over here with my COVID. And then I'm so excited about this one. I'm gonna like put it on, but I'll look like a sheep. I was knitting at this at uni. I didn't think about it, so I was wearing all black from top to bottom, and this yarn is shedding like crazy. So I'm gonna probably be full of this, but so pretty. It is so pretty. It is the Aurora Cardigan Adult, coming soon. This was also like on point with the like, what yarn do I have? What can I make with the yarn I have? I got 17 skeins of this yarn, which is Viking Alpaca Bris. To make a blanket last summer, didn't make the blanket. I wanted another cardigan, and I wanted to design more stuff with the Aurora pattern, so I was like, I'll make the Aurora cardigan. So here's sleeve number 1. Super nice. That is done. Here's sleeve number 2. Also done. So that is great. So here is, oops, in the middle of a round. But here is the body. So I've knit this up to like under the arms. Now I need to do some decreases so that it goes like this. And this is a cardigan, so it will obviously be open in the front. The pattern will have some modifications compared to what I did for this one, because I see that I want the edging to be wider. You can see the edging here kind of. I want it to be wider so that it matches kind of the width of the ribbing at the bottom. So yeah, this pattern, now I look like a sheep, but you can't see it on the camera, so it's fine. So yeah, that is what I will. But again, this is one of those projects that's like, it's no thinking until there is thinking. So, and I just really like the no thinking knitting. And now this is at the point where I have to start thinking. So I stopped working on it. So yeah. But I will finish this soon because it's cold. I want to wear it. I want to write up the pattern. I want to see other people wear it because it's so pretty. And it's so soft. As you can see, there are some colors. This like a light gray. And this color, that's just like really repetitive in my knitting. But that's okay. I used to have a time where I was like, oh, did I lose a stitch? No. I used to have a time where I was like, oh, I haven't knitted green sweater. Now I need to knit another color if I'm going to knit myself another sweater. No, you don't. If you only wear 2 colors, I wear a little bit more than 2, not that much. I wear like this color, light gray, this color in my socks, and a kind of like this blue, not really this blue. That's like what I wear like 9 out of 10 days. Why should, oh and also this yellow. I started really loving. So what? So why should I knit other colors? I also like green. I really like green. But why should I choose another color if I don't really love it? if these are my 5 favorite colors, I can knit all of the designs in those 5 colors. I don't need to knit with all the colors, even though at one point I was like, okay, I knit a green sweater, now I need to choose another color for the next sweater, even though it's a different design. Now it has to have another color. So that was what I was thinking for quite a while. So yeah, I was going to talk about the stash busting challenge, but that, I'm sorry, that's going to have to come in another video because I can hardly speak anymore. I'm trying so hard to hold back my coughs at this point, and the lighting is almost gone, so I can't like pause it and come back later. It's gonna have to be another day, and I will also show you my yarn purchases. And I'm so happy about the yarn that I got in January. It's so beautiful. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you to everyone who has liked my videos, commented on my videos, subscribed. That really helped. The one thing that made me like go back into actually I want to do a lot more YouTube was that a video I posted 2 years ago in September of 2021. That video just started like going up. It was getting so many views and likes, and I was like, what? That's actually the pumpkin tutorial in English. So I was like, what? People are actually seeing this and subscribing. So yeah, thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you have lots of knit time and knit what you love. I will see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.